Hey gang, JC here, and this is the Daily Dose for Monday, October 24th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great television art. We'll talk about the Cardinals in a minute. Great television archives top of the page, our eye candy feature along the bottom, and our rock and roll poll question from Friday is, do you think people who are over 40 and dress up in Halloween costumes are weird? Number one answer with 42%. If the costumes are creative, funny, or slutty enough, I can dig it, 42%. Number two answer, no, it's harmless fun, that's 31%. And 27% of you said yes, Halloween is for kids and these people need to get a life. All right, today's rock and roll poll question. You had that preacher who predicted the end of the world a couple of months back, and then it didn't happen. So he said, oh, you know what I meant? I meant like this third Friday in October. That's what I meant. So let's just assume that Reverend Harold Camping was right and the end of the world occurred last Friday. How would you have looked back at your life? Here's your choices. A, I was generally happy and led a good life. B, I wasted too much time and didn't accomplish nearly as much as I would have liked. C, I was angry and frustrated and it ate me up inside. D, I was a real son of a bitch. E, I had a wild, crazy, out of this world ride. Or F, other. Please answer in the corner. I'm dying to see what your answers are going to be on this one. All right. Too much Derek Holland last night. I mean, that's really it. The simplicity of the game of baseball is that you can make a statement like good pitching stops good hitting, and you know what? It's true more often than not. And that's exactly what happened. I'm reading stuff already and hearing people taking Tony La Russa's head off for one reason or another, and it's simple. The Cardinals couldn't hit Derek Holland last night. He had one of those great games, and we didn't hit. You don't win any games when you score no runs. And then, Evan Jackson runs out of steam, and Mitchell Boggs comes in and serves up a gopher ball on the first pitch, and that's the story of the game. That's it. We didn't hit. You don't win games when you score no runs. I'm not sure that there's ever been a game in any sport, by the way, where you score nothing and win the game. So that's pretty much it. We didn't hit Derek Holland. End of story. So we try again tonight. We'll see what happens. Chris Carpenter on the mound against old CW. We'll see what happens. Ron Kulpa, by the way, I have to tell you, the Major League Baseball umpire from St. Louis, is a great guy. He's a very, very nice guy. I've spoken with him on numerous occasions. He's a great guy, and he's getting raked over the coals. He blew the call at first base the other night, opened up the door for the Cardinals to win, big inning, and that's pretty much it. He's a good umpire, and he's a nice guy, and he blew the call. End of story. Again, people making it much too complicated. There are actually people. Joe Torre, the president of baseball operations, or whatever this title is, has to go in front of the national media before the game yesterday and defend Ron Kulpa because he's from St. Louis, and we had conspiracy theorists already saying, wait a minute, Ron Kulpa's from St. Louis, and he blew the call at first base. He did it on purpose. And it's like, God, you know? And it's like, all right, yeah, so Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Ron Kulpa, Bob Costas, and Joe Torre, by the way, managed here in St. Louis. Everybody's from St. Louis. Oh, boy. Let's try it again tonight. We're back at Hooters on Wednesday from noon to 3. Try to set you up for Game 6. Weather is not supposed to be very good. I wouldn't be surprised this time if we don't play Game 6 on Wednesday. I got a funny hunch that this time weather's going to turn awful on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday, and it's going to be beautiful for the weekend. So we might be looking at a rain out on Wednesday. It's way too early to tell, but I'm just telling you, if we have a rain out on Wednesday, it's not the end of the world because the weather will be chilly on Thursday. We could play. And if you need a Game 7, Friday's supposed to be beautiful just in time for the World Series parade on Sunday. What do you say? The Rams. Randy Carricker was on television last night, and I like Randy, by the way. But I ran into Randy over the summer. It was actually early summer. And I said to Randy, I think the Rams are going to start off 0-6. Oh, no way. No way. You're crazy. No. Absolutely no way. I said, Randy, the Rams will start off 0-6. Well, Randy was on television last night with Frank on Sports Plus and said that this football effort was atrocious or some word like that. Randy, who loves you, buddy? Who's your buddy? Who's your buddy? Who's your buddy? I told you. I don't know everything, but I know some things. And when I know them, I'm pretty adamant about sticking to my guns. And I'm telling you, Rams might actually start. They could start off 0-9. Okay, so maybe I was wrong. I said 0-6, meant 0-9. We went to the Australian Pink Floyd show on Friday night at the fabulous Fox Theater. Saw them 3 years ago. They were absolutely outstanding. And if you ever get a chance to see the show, I ran into somebody on Friday, an old classic rock jock, and I said, going to the Australian Pink Floyd show today. He's like, I'm not really much on tribute bands. I was like, no, I know. It's not like we're going to the Holiday Inn to see the Grassroots tribute band. This is the Australian Pink Floyd. They've actually played for members of Pink Floyd, and some of the guys have said, you know what, you play better than us. It's an astonishing show. If you ever get a chance to see it, go see it. I tremendously highly recommend it. It was an amazing night. And by the way, they opened up this place about a year ago. We went for the first time, City Diner. It's an offshoot of the one that's on Hampton. But for diner food, now it ain't the Ritz. You're not going to get pheasant under glass. But if you're going in for diner food, excellent. Had the French onion soup and a turkey club with bacon, and it was fabulous. They have a bar there and everything. Service was good. City Diner, if you got the plans to go to the Fox Theater, Jazz the Bistro, one of those places down there, Powell Symphony Hall, take in the City Diner. It's very, very good. We really enjoyed ourselves there the other night. The 35th Annual Mid-America Emmy Awards were announced on Saturday night, and it's too depressing for me to name the names. But when you start giving awards, mind you, for news excellence to Channel 4, let's put that over here. As we reported last week, the media is starting to pick up on the idea. January Jones from Mad Men, the John Hamm show. Okay, so on Saturday Night Live, starts boinking Jason Sudeikis. People start, she ends up knocked up, and Jason's like, it wasn't me. And they tried to say one of her directors from something else, from a movie she was in. He's like, hey, it wasn't me. She won't name the father. The birth certificate under father is blank. There was talk now, we broke it last week, that Ashton Kutcher may have had a one-nighter with her, a resumption of the relationship they had several years ago before he hooked up with Demi Moore. And they may have had like one of those one-nighters, and, By the way, when they were together, one of the reasons they broke up is he told her, January Jones, back in the day, you'll never make it in this business. I think she's doing okay. Piper Laurie, you know that name? The movie Carrie, where, just about everybody was in that movie, including John Travolta and Sissy Spacek. Piper Laurie is old now, and she says that when she was just a young kid, somewhere around 16 years old, she lost her virginity to Ronald Reagan, and that he wasn't very nice about it, and also didn't understand why certain physiological things were taking place, and she thought it was sort of stupid that he couldn't figure out that she had been a virgin and all that. Paul Leka, one of the men who wrote Na Na Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye, died of lung cancer earlier this month. He was 68 years old. Little known fact about that song, they put all those Na Na Hey Hey's at the end of that song because they didn't want the radio stations to play it. It was back in the days of singles, 45s, and they put it on the B side because they were actually pushing the A side. So they figured if we put like 5 minutes of Na Na Hey Hey's, radio stations will never play it, because back then, if a song went 3.5 minutes, went longer than that, radio stations just said, I'm sorry, that's too long, we're not going to play it. There were exceptions, but not many. So, but the record company liked the song, so they released it, and of course it goes straight to #1 in 1969, and then in 77, the White Sox organist at Comiskey Park in Chicago started playing it when the White Sox were ahead, and and then this guy, by the way, also wrote Green Tambourine for the Lemon Pipers. Great song, also produced 4 Harry Chapin albums, and signed REO Speedwagon to their first recording contract. So a little bit of music trivia there for you. Crystal Bowersox, who was the runner-up on American Idol, dropped by her record label, just like Lee DeWyze. New biography of Steve Jobs comes out today. If you watch this thing on 60 Minutes, he wasn't exactly a warm, fuzzy guy. He was a jerk, a total jerk. And it makes me really sort of sad for the guy. I don't like to see anybody die, but you get online and watch that. There are 2 segments they did on Steve Jobs. Total jack-off. And a real jack-off. Top 10 Halloween costumes list released by Google searches. Smurfette at #5. I'm digging that. Nicki Minaj at 4. Playboy Bunny at 3. I'm digging that. Black Swan at 2. I'm digging that. Angry Birds #1. Charlie Sheen, by the way, is #11. John Mayer had surgery to correct a problem with his vocal cords. Unfortunately, the surgery was a success. For her 31st birthday, Kim Kardashian celebrated in New York on Friday night and Vegas on Saturday. And God, she's going to be really tired today when she has to go back to work. That's right, never mind. Lindsay Lohan was turned away from the morgue on Thursday when she showed up to do community service because her appearance was scaring the corpses. And President Obama announced last week that all the troops in Iraq will be home for the holiday season. That's the good news. The bad news is the holiday is Ramadan. Kevin Kline from St. Louis, 64 today, tapping Phoebe Cates for the last 30 years. My God. And JC's Eye Candy today. Lots of Halloween parties coming up this weekend. I'm not sure I will ever look at a piece of pumpkin pie the same way. You'll have to look at the picture to understand what I'm talking about. That's on JC's Eye Candy, right below what you're looking at right now. All right, our rock and roll poll again today had the Reverend Harold Camping's prediction of the end of the world last Friday been correct. How would you look back at your life? We gave you a couple of suggestions for answers. Please answer. And we'll have results for you later today. And, of course, every day from noon to 3, it's me and Trish on the Big 550 KTRS. JCOnTheLine.com is where you are right now. Follow me on Twitter at STLJC Corcoran. That's STLJC Corcoran. I Twitter during the ball games whenever possible, and we throw fun things your way. And that's pretty much it. That's what we have for JC's Daily Dose, Monday, October 24th, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Go Cards. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.